Okay, so now we've done our materials on our building, and now we need to go back to our first layer where we have our tree. It's also got our camera and our light. So I want to put our tree onto our second layer. So I'm just going to select that and bring up our move to layer and move it onto layer 2 with our buildings so that you can see all of our models together. And we're going to go back onto layer 1. So now we're going to create the landscape that we're going to put those models into, but first we need to make sure we're on the right side. So if we go into top view, you can see that our camera is over here, so we want our landscape to start on this edge and we want our mountains to be at this side edge here. So I'm just going to rotate that around, and then I'm going to set my cursor to the center, so Shift S and cursor to center, and now we're going to add a plane, so Shift A and plane. So now you can see we've got a plane in the center. So I'm going to hop back into top view, so 7 on your numpad keys, and then S to scale, and I'm just going to scale that up so it's a bit bigger than our grid, and then I'm just going to bump it up a little bit so you can't see the grid, and then I'm going to hop over into edit mode and we're going to subdivide this grid. So back into top view and W to subdivide, and then we're going to up the number of cuts to 10, and then I think I'm just going to subdivide it one more time, so subdivide again, and there we go. So now we've got this plane split up into lots of different faces, so we'll be able to manipulate more of the geometry within that primitive. So I want my mountains along this back section here, so I'm just going to hop into vertices select, and I'm just going to select a few of these points at the back at random. And so with those selected, if we just move them up now, you can see that we're creating these sort of spiky triangles, but it doesn't really look like mountains because they're just popping up from this one individual point that we're moving. So we want to be able to manipulate this geometry, these points that are around each one of our selected vertices. So to do that, we need to turn on proportional editing. So if I just put those back, so to turn on proportional editing, if you come down to your 3D view menu bar, you'll see this little circle icon here that's greyed out, and we want to put it on to enabled. So now proportional editing is enabled. So now if we hit G, which is our grab tool, you'll see that we can now grab those points, but still nothing's really happening. If you use your scroll wheel to scroll in and out, you can see that now it's actually affecting the geometry around those points as well as the points themselves. So if you just get something that you're happy with and then constrain your grab to the Z axis so it's not going all over the place, and just bring them up a little bit just so they're sort of hill type mounds, and then we're going to go through and we're going to select some different points at random. So right click, holding down shift to select multiple points. So once you've selected your points, if you come down to your proportional editor, now next to your proportional editor icon you've got this curve. So if we open it up, you can see that we've got various different options on how our proportional editor is going to affect the geometry around our selected points. So currently we've got it set to smooth, so I'm just going to come up and choose random for this next part. So make sure you've got random selected, and then G, and then constrain it to the Z axis, and then move it up a bit, and you can see that now we're getting more jagged effect. It looks a bit more like mountains. So if you just have a play around with moving your scroll wheel in and out, just get a shape that you're happy with. And currently all my mountains are the same height because we've used the grab tool, so I'm just gonna go in and just move some of these points down a bit so we've got a bit of variation in height. And bring that one down. So there we go. Once you're happy with your shape, you can now start having a look at how we're going to put materials on this. So I'm happy with my mountains, so I'm going to leave them like that, and I'm just going to hop into edit mode, object mode, sorry, just to have a look at my model.